Hey, my name is Ben. Thanks for stopping by. I'm here with my water softener, and I'm about to add some salt to it. And I wanted to talk about a couple things with adding salt to your brine tank. It seems like a pretty simple thing overall, and it pretty much is, but I want to just say a couple things about that process to help you avoid some problems. So here's my brine tank, and if we look down inside of here, we'll see that we can see the water level, but we can't really see the salt. Oh yeah, actually there is salt down in there yet, so we're good. Now I've got a little bit of an orange coloring to this, and that's from iron that I have in my water. It almost looks like it's a little bit foamy though, and that might be indicating that we have iron bacteria, and that's something that I've dealt with in the past. I'm going to have to deal with it again. I'll link in the description if you're experiencing iron bacteria, you can follow that. But what I want to talk about right now is just when you add salt to this tank, don't add tons of salt. Don't fill it all the way up to the top. And the reason for that is if you have lots and lots of salt in here, you have more of a chance to create a salt bridge. Now, salt bridge is just like what it sounds like it is. Basically, it's a really hard crust of salt that forms when the moisture gets into the salt and just basically makes it rock hard. And that bridge then stays in there, and then the salt in the bottom of the tank gets dissolved and used, but then there's this bridge that keeps the salt from falling down in. Now, one really easy way to know whether or not you have a salt bridge is because your softener won't use any salt. So if you normally use a bag a month, and you haven't added any for 2 months and it looks the same, then you probably know that there is a salt bridge for sure. And also, obviously, if you have hard water, then you're going to know that something is up with it as well. So there are other issues that can contribute to it, like the salt or the brine not feeding in correctly and things like that, but that's a whole nother issue. So salt bridge, that's what it is. So if you've got a salt bridge, you just need to figure out a way to knock it down. So either you'll have to move some of the salt off of the top until you get down to the bridge and then knock it down, or maybe it's not that deep and you can just knock it down right away. And then you can kind of let those big pieces get used up before you add more salt, and that might help prevent it. And then just add one bag at a time and put it on your schedule to add on a more regular basis. That's going to help you just be aware of your softener's behaviors anyway. So that's kind of that for bridging in your brine tank. Now, the only other thing that I would talk about, I guess, is with the type of salt that you're using. There's a few different types. There's totally raw salt, and I've seen this at Menards before. They've got even bigger bags than this, like 80-pound bags, and it's like 98.9% salt or something. Well, the other 1% or whatever it is dirt or sand or something really fine particulates of non-soluble material, and that's going to cause an issue over the long term because that sludge is going to accumulate in the bottom of the tank, and it's probably not a good idea to use that type of salt. So, and then you have the middle of the road, which is the blue bags that you see everywhere. This is crystal salt. It's like 99.9% salt, and that is my favorite salt to go with. Now you can buy the pellets too, but I've talked to a water softener company before, and one of the guys was even saying that they don't really like those pelletized salt products because they even have a little bit of additives in them to hold those pellets together. But they obviously must work fine because a lot of people use them, but they are more expensive. So if you can get by with the crystal salt, I would just go with that. Just make sure it's 99.9% pure salt. So I guess the only other thing is, once in a while, if you do use some of that, if you have iron in your water like I have, using a couple bags of that rust out stuff is probably a good idea, just to help your water softener resin last a little bit better. So that's salt bridging and the tips for adding salt to your tank. It's simple, but there's some things to keep in mind. So if this video helped you out, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe down below for more videos like this one. If you're needing a new softener, I will link to a softener similar to mine that you can buy online and install yourself. At some point, I want to have a video out on the installation of these, so I'll add that to the description when and if I get to it. So thanks so much for watching, and yeah, consider subscribing. I appreciate it very much. We'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.